What really happened on that July day in 1937, when Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan simply vanished into the Pacific? Their destination was the tiny speck of land known as Howland Island. Their plane, a gleaming silver twin-engine Lockheed Electra, built for a record-breaking circumnavigation of the globe. What followed is one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history, and remains unsolved to this day. From the moment they took off, the odds were stacked against them. But instead of triumph, the world was left with silence. A radio crackle fading into nothing, search planes combing the ocean, and no definitive answer. Amelia Mary Earhart was already an American icon. The first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, the first person to fly non-stop from Hawaii to the U.S. mainland. In 1937, she embarked on what would become her final flight, an attempt to circle the world along the equator. On June 1st, she departed Miami. Her journey took her across South America, Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. By June 29th, she arrived at Lae, New Guinea. With her navigator Fred Noonan, a seasoned expert who had once charted Pan Am's transoceanic routes, she prepared for the most dangerous leg of the journey. From Lae to Howland Island, a 2,500-mile flight across open water. They took off on July 2, 1937. Hours into the flight, Earhart radioed that they were lost, struggling to locate Howland Island and running low on fuel. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca, stationed near Howland, tried desperately to make contact. Then came her final transmission. "We are on the line north and south. Fuel is running low. We must be on you but cannot see you." Moments later, silence. Despite an unprecedented air and sea search, the largest in U.S. history at the time, no trace of the Electra, Earhart, or Noonan was ever found. On January 5, 1939, Amelia Earhart was declared legally dead. The official conclusion from U.S. authorities was simple: the plane likely ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean. The immense search, lasting over 2 weeks, yielded nothing but questions. Yet over the decades that followed, new evidence and theories emerged. Some credible, some not. Among the serious investigations, 2 stand out. The first is the crash and sink theory, that Earhart simply failed to find Howland Island, ran out of fuel, and went down into the deep ocean. The pattern of radio messages, the direction of her final bearings, and the absence of signals afterward all support this. The second theory is known as the Nikumaroro hypothesis. It suggests Earhart may have landed or crashed on a remote reef now known as Nikumaroro in the Republic of Kiribati. In 1940, skeletal remains and artifacts of American origin were found there. Forensic studies decades later suggested the bones' measurements matched Earhart's proportions more closely than 99% of the population. A metal panel found on the island was also analyzed and may have come from her aircraft. Still, despite multiple expeditions and advanced imaging technologies, no conclusive proof has ever been found. The U.S. government's records remain open, and the FBI's file on Earhart is publicly available. To this day, official investigations list the case as unresolved. In recent years, new expeditions have set out once again, armed with sonar, drones, and satellite imaging, to finally locate the Electra. But so far, the Pacific has kept its secret. Think about the human side for a moment. By late June 1937, Amelia and Fred had already flown more than 22,000 miles. They were close to achieving what no one else had done. The pressure was unimaginable. Global headlines, national pride, and the weight of history riding on their shoulders. When she sent her final transmission, she must have known time was running out. The fuel gauge dropping, the horizon empty, no land in sight. And then, nothing. The silence that followed became part of the legend. The ocean swallowed the rest. For decades, researchers, journalists, and explorers have chased every lead, studying bones, fragments, and old radio logs. The evidence has never quite been enough. The case remains one of the most haunting mysteries of the 20th century. But beyond the theories and headlines, Amelia Earhart's story is about more than just a disappearance. It's about courage, ambition, and the limits of human endurance. She wasn't just chasing fame, she was pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Her legacy inspired generations of aviators, scientists, and dreamers. Her disappearance, tragic as it was, also changed how the world handles missing person investigations, leading to improved air-sea search protocols and record-keeping. Today, the mystery endures. The unanswered question, what truly happened to Amelia Earhart, continues to draw us in. Maybe it's because we all understand what it means.